subscribe to my sister's channel. She will also voice her favorite plots. Let's give her a big asset. Kaguya Otsutsuki was able to make a small hole out of the prison, through which she transferred part of her strength in the hope that she would get into a strong person, which would help her free herself. At the same time, Kushina Uzumaki, the wife of the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze, gave birth to twins, a girl Naruto and a boy Naruto. But due to the fact that the seal weakened too much, the Nine-Tail was able to get out, after which a fight began, at the end of which Hiruzen Sarutobi sealed a small part of the Kubi in Naruto so that he could not be reborn after Hiruzen's death. At the time of Hiruzen's death, a strange ball flew into Naruto, after which Naruto's skin she turned white, like her hair. Minato, still not moving away from the fight and everything that happened, made a choice. He will give Naruto to a shelter and say that he is the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed. He's a boy, and his appearance will prove it to everyone. Minato convinced himself. He told Kushina that their son had died from the clutches of Kyubi, and the fox himself had been sealed into a child from the orphanage. This, Kushina said that they should adopt this child, but Minato, fearing for his daughter, refused her this, referring to the Council of Elders. He understood that he had acted like the last scum and sooner or later, everyone would find out about everything. Kushina came to her son's empty grave every day, crying and telling to him about everything she knew herself. Minato regretted his action the very next day, but his conscience did not allow him to return his son to the family. What will he tell Kushina? That it was a rash act and he was thinking only about his daughter at that moment. He blamed himself for it every day. After 5 years, Naruto was beaten up every day. Records from the hospital were transmitted to the Hokage, from which Minato's heart ached more and more. He hated himself for doing that. He understood that if he told everyone that the Jinchuriki were not Naruto, but Naruto, everyone would also hate her. But after one incident, Minato decided to tell his family everything. Even if he lost it, he could no longer endure all these internal sufferings. Naruto was beaten half to death by the Jonins that time, which caused the pseudo-Jinchuriki to fall into a coma for a week. Minato came home, undressed, and called Kushina and Naruto to the kitchen. Darling, why did you call? Kushina said, smiling a little. Kushina, Naruto, I have to tell you something. Minato hesitated a little. I hate myself because of this act, but Kushina, our son, Naruto is alive, and the fox is sealed in you. Naruto. I told everyone that Jinchuriki was Naruto, because at that time I thought he was a guy and had to endure all the difficulties on the way, but literally the next day, I realized how wrong I was. Crying, Minato said. Kushina and Naruto cried, after which the daughter of Hokage said, take me to my brother, I have to meet him. Yes, now he will live here, and you live wherever you want. I do not know when, and indeed whether I will be able to forgive you. Kushina shouted through tears. This, Minato just shook his head and led them to the house where Naruto lived, but he wasn't there. The house was on fire, and the residents were laughing and having fun around the burning house. Kushina fell to her knees and sobbed even harder, and Naruto did the same. A girl with pink hair ran up to the Hokage and began a dialogue. Oh, Hokage-sama, the girl shouted cheerfully. What happened here? Minato asked through the pain. Well, flashback, Naruto left the hospital when he suddenly saw a pink-haired girl who he really liked. Hi, Sakura-chan, he greeted her, blushing slightly. Get off me already, how many times do I have to tell you this? I only like Sasuke-kun, and you, the demon, she shouted, then ran away from the white-haired man. Naruto did not expect this from her, but the fact that the only person who at least sometimes, but communicated with him without any aggression, would call him this word, he was more depressed than ever. Naruto returned to his abandoned hut, because he ran away from the shelter at the age of 3. But of course no one was going to look for him. So he lay down on a mattress dragged from the dump and began to think about his own, when suddenly 7 Chunins broke into him, who began to beat him and laugh loudly at the same time. After the beating, they thought that the child was dead and therefore threw him into the nearest river with a strong current. End flashback. After hearing this story, the Hokage family returned home in complete silence. "I don't believe he's dead," Minato said. "You're a bastard, Minato. My son died because of you. I hate you," Kushina said coolly and, taking Naruto by the hand, headed to the hotel. "Naruto, I will find you, and I will do everything to make you forgive me," Minato said into the void. "Povi Naruto, I woke up in some dark place, like a cave. Finally my torment is over," I said, thinking that I was alone, but then a beautiful woman appeared from around the corner. "So my power got into you?" She looked at me questioningly. "My name is Naruto and I do not know about what kind of power," I answered her. "I see, so you haven't woken her up yet," said the woman. "And who exactly are you?" "Yes, I'm sorry, my communication skills were not very good before the ceiling, but now, my name is Kaguya Otsutsuki, I am the ancestor of the chakra." Kaguya answered the question, clearly, as I understand it. "I finally died, and where will I end up? Although why am I asking, they still called me a demon." "Apparently you, Kaguya, have come to escort me to hell," I suggested. Endpov Naruto. Kaguya was in mute shock after these words. What did a 4-year-old boy go through to say that? "Come on, I'm wondering what happened to you. I'll look at your memory, and you'll look at mine," Kaguya offered. "Okay, come on." Naruto agreed. After that, Naruto saw Kaguya's whole life, and she saw him. Naruto said that he felt sorry for her, because Kaguya was sealed by her own children, whom she did not want to kill. In response to this, Kaguya cried, because she found out that the boy had been tried to kill almost every day for 4 years of his life. She also looked at Naruto's memories on his birthday and told him who his parents were, and that there is no demon in him. In response to this, Naruto laughed as hard as he could. His laughter was manic. Kaguya understood why he was laughing, after which she came over and hugged him. "Naruto, I gave you my power, which you will be able to discover at about the age of 18, that's when you will have to release me. My creation, Zetsu, will help you in this." "And why exactly at 18? asked Naruto. "At this age, you will be at the dawn of strength, and that's when I will give you eternal life and eternal youth," Kaguya said, blushing a little. "I see that I will train, and, when I am strong enough, I will find Zetsu, after which I will help him free you." Naruto summed it up. "Yes, and now go," Kaguya spoke softly. After that, Naruto woke up in the water, which was carrying him somewhere. He could not swim well, so he waited for the current to weaken. An hour later, he came across a dam that let only water through, leaving sticks, rocks and stuff outside. Naruto climbed on it and went to the nearest forest. He understood that now he was alone and he needed to find food and start training. Kaguya mentally turned to him and explained that if he stayed at the hearth, he would be able to use almost all the techniques of the world except for eye techniques. Naruto obeyed the advice and, sitting in the lotus position, literally screamed in pain. After 5 minutes, his chakra system expanded too fast. Although he was born with a developed chakra circulation system at the level of a strong jonin, which no one noticed, because everyone didn't care about him, but now his SEC was simply inhuman. He felt that his chakra was infinite. Kaguya said that he could use techniques without seals, and also explained how to actually do it. Naruto understood everything very quickly and on the first attempt was able to launch a fireball at a passing deer, which was 3 times larger than the deer itself. The ball was so powerful that only dust remained of the deer. "Naruto, pour in less chakra," Kaguya said in her subconscious, watching what was happening. "So you're peeping?" Naruto asked. "I'm just looking out for you," Kaguya said a little indignantly. "And if I'm in the toilet at this moment or swimming?" Naruto asked with interest, but Kaguya cut the connection. After 10 minutes of searching, Naruto was able to find another deer and, having invested much less chakra, threw a fireball at him. The deer died immediately. Its skin, which took the main blow, simply burned without a trace, and most of the carcass was ready for consumption. Naruto ate, drank the water that he created himself, and then went to travel, simultaneously training and looking for Zetsu, somewhere in the thicket of the forest. After lunch, Naruto sat down to think over a training plan. "So, I have literally limitless potential, as I understand it. In order to produce some kind of technique, I need to present it." With these words, the boy got up and went to a clearing. He imagined the dragon, which he had glimpsed in books that teachers read to other children, while he himself was sitting apart from everyone, all alone. A small worm the size of a dango stick came out of his hand. At the same moment, he heard laughter. Naruto started to look around, but quickly realized who the laughter belonged to. Going into the subconscious, Naruto asked, "Kaguya, did you see something funny?" Naruto asked angrily. She couldn't calm down. After 5 minutes, the goddess calmed down, after which Naruto repeated his question again. "Oh, Naruto, I'm sorry that I've just never seen such an interesting technique," Kaguya said. "I study techniques myself, without any hints, which in principle do not exist. So, please, if something doesn't work out for me, you can laugh to yourself," the child asked as politely as possible. "Naruto, if something is unclear, ask me. I still know a lot of things and I can help you," said Kaguya. Naruto only grunted at this and left the subconscious to continue training. Kaguya, he is a very interesting boy, not only that he was able to withstand my strength, which many experienced ninjas would get used to for a dozen years, and then he immediately understood how to create techniques, amazingly. Of course he is stubborn, but this only decorates him. I believe that he will be able to free me from imprisonment, and then I will take him with me, because next to him I feel relaxed, which I undoubtedly like. You will need to tell him that he can control his bones, and also remind him to learn the banal rules of behavior. People, as far as I know, like him are called a genius, but still it's a 4-year-old, a boy who was not even taught that the elders should be addressed to you. In the meantime, I will continue to watch him. And both Kaguya immediately after coming out of the subconscious, Naruto continued training to create a fire dragon. He invested a little more chakra in each new dragon than in the previous one, because if he invested too much of it, he could burn down the entire forest, which would lead to unnecessary attention. And after about 20 attempts, Naruto was able to make a large fire dragon, which he could safely control. When Naruto wanted to sit down to rest, he was called by a voice from behind. "Hello, my name is Zetsu and I would like to know why you have a chakra like my mother's," the black and white creature asked. "Is that you, Zetsu?" "I am Naruto. Kaguya gave me her power and told me to release her by my 18th birthday. Will you help me?" Naruto asked. "Yes, of course. You look a lot like my mother. I have already started to carry out my plan, but it will be much easier with you." Zetsu looked at Naruto with satisfaction. "And what's the plan?" the boy asked. "My plan is this: we gather a group of strong Nukanins who are rejected by society, after which we tell them about the eternal Tsukiyomi Genjutsu, which will forever plunge the whole world into dreams. But to activate it, you need all 9-tailed ones sealed in the Geto statue and also Rinnegan. Fortunately, I corrected the plates in the Uchiha cache a long time ago, which is why Madara Uchiha became my main puppet. He saved a guy named Obito Uchiha, who stayed to fight against renegade ninjas, covering some girl and a gray-haired wounded guy in a mask, and so, when Obito was already surrounded, Madara came to his aid. Before that, watching with me from the side, he quickly killed about 20 enemy shinobi, and then told me to go with him and not turn around. But, of course, Uchiha turned around and saw my bloody copies lying on the road, turned into his friends. Fortunately, there was a lot of DNA of these two on the battlefield. Obito believed in their death, after which Madara told him about the plan, the Eye of the Moon, to which he agreed. "Well, about our plan with you, then immediately after the absorption of the 10-tailed Madara, I or you will break through his heart and let the mother's chakra go there. Why, she will get out of her imprisonment." Zetsu told the plan. "The plan is certainly good, but what if Obito meets one of his friends? I kind of saw a gray-haired one once that he went to the cemetery," Naruto asked. "In this case, Madara put a couple of bookmarks on the heart of Obito. He won't feel anything if he sees them. Naturally, they can be removed, but it is unlikely that he will give his former friends enough time," Zetsu explained. "What about Rinnegan?" Naruto asked. "Madara was able to awaken him, after which he transplanted these eyes to the current leader of the Akatsuki, an organization that will collect tailed ones. The organization itself is being created right now. So far there are few people and funds, but while you train, Akatsuki will improve their position. I suggest you join it at about 15 years old. In 3 years, I think we will be able to capture and seal all 9-tailed ones, Zetsu replied. Great. That's what we'll do, and now I'm going back to training, Naruto said, and went to invent and practice new techniques. After a week of training, Naruto invented many techniques, various dragons, balls, bullets, walls and other types of techniques from different elements. When Naruto, after another workout, went to bed, Kaguya told him that he can control bones, which can help a lot, especially in close combat. Naruto tried to let the bone pin out of his hand. The white-haired man was surprised that it did not bring him pain, to which Kaguya said that this was a feature of her Kiki Genkai. Then Naruto decided to finally fall asleep, and at the same time asked Kaguya about her plans for the future, and so the boy fell asleep and woke up in the subconscious. Kaguya, I've been meaning to ask you, what are you going to do when you go outside? Naruto asked. I want to take back what all people once got by mistake, Kaguya replied. So you want to take away the chakra that your grief-stricken son gave to people? I'm sorry, I understand that you want peace, but don't you think that this will only make things worse? The boy asked. Why do you think that? Kaguya asked, raising her eyebrows a little. Now the shaky neutrality of countries is based on respect for their Kaga. But if you take away the chakra from everyone, it will entail civil wars for power. And what if not everyone can survive the complete loss of the chakra? After all, only with one strong depletion of the chakra, there is a high probability that a person will die, and you want to take it from everyone at once, and can you withstand such power? No, I understand everything, you're a goddess, but imagine, you will take away not only people's chakra at once, but also all living beings. And one more thing, Kaguya. I think you've heard Zetsu's plan, which means you understand that the Jinchuriki will not give up their countries just like that, which means there will be a war, and I will take far from the last place in it. I wanted to ask you, didn't you kill? Naruto asked in a slightly trembling voice. Oh, Naruto, I understand what you're feeling, that I still remember what those villagers did to you, so why don't you repay them the same, but many times stronger? Naruto, I am a goddess, and you will soon become a full-fledged god. Our actions can't be wrong, Kaguya said with a smile. No, it doesn't matter if you are a god or a man, any action can be wrong, but I am beginning to realize that in this world of wars and blood, there is only one rule, it's either you or you. Unfortunately, there is no other way, the boy said with a serious look. Kaguya looked and was touched, because before her eyes Naruto was becoming more and more mature. Naruto, how about learning swordsmanship? Of course. You can use any techniques, but you don't need to be discovered, do you? So, I suggest you create your own equipment with the help of Genkai steel and wood, then find a master swordsman and learn from him. Take another name for yourself, you should become famous by the age of 15, after which you and Zetsu will begin to carry out your plan, Kaguya suggested. Yes, I agree, Naruto said, after which they talked for a long time on unimportant topics. The next morning, Naruto got up, drank, ate and began to create his equipment: a steel mask with 2 holes under the eyes, steel boots with wooden soles, wooden gloves, beaten with iron on the outside, and a steel cuirass, which was lined with wood inside, and grains of crystals were visible on the outside. Naruto looked 7 years old at his age of 4, and if the height was suitable, then for all 15, since his physique was very good. Naruto knew only one place where he could be taught Kenjutsu: the Land of Iron. Naruto knew the approximate way to the Land of Iron, but he needed to know for sure, and a map or at least a compass helped him a lot in this, but the boy didn't have either, and so, while thinking about the map, Naruto came across a battle. 4 bandits attacked a man with a bandaged forehead and a ponytail on his head. This old man decapitated all 4 attackers with one movement of his katana, which undoubtedly amazed the boy. Excuse me, are you good at Kenjutsu, old man? Naruto asked. Boy, didn't they teach you manners? The old man asked, wiping the katana from the blood on the clothes of one of the bandits. No, I don't have parents, so there was no one to teach them. My name is Naruto, and you? My name is Mifune, I am the commander-in-chief of the Iron Country, the old man said with a proud look. Come on. Well, I couldn't be so lucky. I want to learn Kenjutsu so that I can protect the one that is dear to me. Naruto said, Blushing a little, "Why are you telling me about this? And I won't look for a teacher for you," said Mifune, "and I'm not asking you to teach me, just take me to the land of iron, where I will find a real Kenjutsu master who will teach me," said Naruto. "No," Mifune replied shortly. After that, Mifune turned away from Naruto and went further down the road. Naruto followed him and they walked in complete silence, but then Mifune asked a question. "Boy, why are you all white? Is this makeup or coloring what?" Mifune asked the question he was interested in. "No, I've been like that since birth," Naruto answered briefly. "And how old are you at least?" the old man persisted. "I'm 4 years old," said the boy. "What?" Mifune was taken aback by what the boy said. "You talk like a fully grown man, and who do you want to protect?" Mifune asked, more interested. "As I understand it, since you are the leader in the samurai country, then you are the best swordsman. Then let's do this. I'll answer 3 of your questions, and you'll teach me everything you know, okay?" Naruto suggested. To this, Mifune, after a little thought, nodded. After that, Naruto told him a story about a beautiful girl who found him and helped him get out of a place where everyone hated him, and now she needs help to also get out of her imprisonment. Naturally, Naruto did not say who this woman really was, came up with another name for her and changed the story a little. Of course, if you think about it, you could get to something, but Mifune did not, because a 4-year-old boy was sitting in front of him, who was beaten and humiliated by everyone, but he was saved by a girl who needed help. Mifune was also aware of, that he does not help the boy, he may fall into the wrong hands, and eventually turn into a monster who will be driven only by a thirst for revenge. "You know, Naruto, if you promise that you will listen to me and not take the path of revenge, then you can become my disciple," Mifune said. "I have my own way completely, but don't be afraid, I don't want revenge on those who hurt me. I don't care about them. I just need to find warm clothes, otherwise my light pants and t-shirt are unlikely to be suitable for the climate there," Naruto said. After that, Mifune and Naruto went to the land of iron, stopping by the town on the way, where Mifune presented his new student with a black set of clothes that looked very interesting on an all-white boy, and so, after 1 week, they finally got to the main city, where Naruto will be trained in Kenjutsu. Entering the city. "Naruto, come with me to the temple where the others are studying," Mifune said. When they entered the temple, Naruto drew attention to the people training there, of absolutely different ages. At the moment sparring was taking place, half of the students fought in taijutsu, and the other half fought in Kenjutsu. "So you are also studying taijutsu here?" the boy noticed. "Yes, but it is studied in this temple, the rest teach only the art of swordsmanship. I haven't had any students for a long time, and all these people are wards of my students who will become samurai in the future. I do not know how much it will take for your full training. My most skillful student was able to learn everything I gave him for 12 years, who knows, maybe you can do it faster." The old man looked thoughtfully at the boy. "You will sleep in one of the rooms in the temple, like the others. Come on, I'll take you to your new room." After which Mifune and Naruto went into the room, in which Naruto will live. The next morning Mifune woke Naruto at 5 o'clock in the morning, after which the boy washed, ate and went to train. Now Sensei brought his student to a fairly large training ground, where he began to show various racks, which Naruto memorized and repeated very quickly. It was like this from day to day. Also Naruto sometimes talked to Kaguya on different topics, just because they were both bored. Mifune told Naruto that he was the most gifted of his students and that Naruto could even surpass Mifune himself after about 7 years of continuous training. After 5 years, in front of Mifune was a guy who looked about 13 years old, although in fact he was only 9. "So, Naruto, 5 years of your training have passed, and you are already fighting almost on the same level with me, but this is already a matter of experience," Mifune said, allowing himself such a rare smile for himself. "I taught you everything I could. I believe that you will not step on the road of evil and protect that girl, and maybe even believe in people again, because not everyone is like in Konoha," Mifune said, handing Naruto a scroll that contained many useful entries, a description and approximate location of the legendary Uzumaki clan blade. The Uzurian sword, which is one the cut is able to seal the soul of the opponent, or the owner. After all, the sword is too difficult to handle. Tips on combat tactics and strategy in general. pumpkin pie recipe and much more. For 5 years, Naruto, though a little, but became attached to Mifune. Although they mostly did nothing but train, Naruto saw that his fate was not indifferent not only to Kaguya, but also to this old man, standing at the exit of the city where he spent 5 years of his life. Naruto let out a stingy tear and hugged his sensei, who, of course, was a little surprised, but also hugged Naruto. Although he was strict with absolutely everyone, he had feelings for Naruto like a grandfather for a grandson. And Naruto often called him an old man, which, of course, Mifune did not like at first, but then he got used to such treatment and so Naruto goes into the distance, and Mifune thinks to himself, oh, Naruto, even if you act badly towards others, even if towards me, but it will be for your purpose, then I will not interfere with you. I just don't want to. Thank you for giving me the feeling that I have someone dear. Although you have become like a grandson to me in these short 5 years, I hope that we will meet again. Naruto, having said this speech in his head, Mifune smiled again and went to carry out his tasks as the commander-in-chief of the Iron Country. At the same time in Konoha, Kushina and Naruto moved into one of the houses belonging to the Uchiha clan, where her best friend Mikoto Uchiha, the wife of the head of the Fugaku Uchiha clan, was. She told her friend and her husband everything, after which Fugaku immediately offered them and Naruto to live in one of the houses owned personally by the head of the clan. Kushina initially refused, but then agreed. Naruto still didn't quite understand what was going on, since she was still a child, but she already suspected something bad, and so it happened. A year after the quarrel, Kushina filed for divorce, and Naruto didn't even let her biological father get close. Minato understood everything and realized that it was he and only he who was guilty of everything. Minato was doing his job as Hokage and along the way was looking for his son, as he did not believe that he was dead. Kushina took care of Naruto, talked to Mikoto and several other girls of her own age. She told them the truth about her son and who the Jinchuriki really were. Everyone felt sorry for Naruto, Kushina and Naruto, and so all 5 years passed. Naruto did not go to the academy, as she decided to learn everything from her mother, to which Kushina, after thinking a little, she answered positively. Naruto was a rather noisy child who couldn't sit still. Because of this, she really disliked meditation, but at the age of 9, she had a reserve of chakra like a weak chunin, and this without long meditations and training. Naruto also knew about who she was, what her father had done, and what had happened to her brother, and so, coming from the next training session, Naruto told her mother, Mom, I decided that I would find a brother, and we would live together as a very friendly family. Naruto shouted to almost the whole house, lighting up the whole kitchen with her radiant smile. Oh, dear, I'll help you with that. I offer you this. You and I will train hard to improve our skills in everything, and when you are 13 and you become a genin, then I will take you to my team, just you and me. What do you think? Kushina asked with a smile. Naruto smiled even wider at this, although, it would seem, somewhere else, and hugged her mother tightly, after which they had dinner and went to their rooms. Naruto was just starting to train, while Naruto was already on his way to the land of whirlpools to pick up the legendary sword. Although he also had his own swords, of his own production, there was steel inside, very sharp bones outside the sword that covered the blade, as well as the whole sword was framed by pieces of wood, which, when hit, took away part of the chakra of the fool who decided to attack Naruto. From the country of iron to Uzushio was about 2 months away. Naruto set off on his way, and here he was on the high road, when suddenly he saw someone he hadn't expected to see for another 6 years. Zetsu? Naruto asked, a little dumbfounded. Zetsu immediately said that he was watching everything that was happening in Konoha. He told Naruto about the situation with Naruto when she shouted that she would return him. Zetsu, I understand what you want to ask. No, I don't feel anything towards my blood sister. She is the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed One, whom we will capture in the end, Naruto said in one breath, but something jumped in his heart. It only happened when he was with Kaguya. This feeling, the feeling that someone needed him and wanted to take care of him, these feelings struggled in him, because he is obliged to resurrect Kaguya, who is dear to him like no other. Naruto. A sound was heard in the Boy's head. I feel that Zetsu did not finish about the nine-tailed chakra, Kaguya said, because she was mentally connected with the boy, because of which she also felt his feelings and inner struggle. Anything else? As if with hope, Naruto asked Zetsu. Yes, 2 brothers have Kyubi chakra, but they died. So I will need a scroll with Edo Tensei, which lies in the Hokage's office, but the trouble is, the scroll with forbidden techniques is under the strongest seal, which can only be opened by a member of the 7 Hokage. This is probably due to genes and DNA, I don't know for sure. Or maybe even spiritual energy. So even if you give me a sample of your DNA, I still won't be able to take it, Zetsu said with sadness in his voice. Well, it doesn't change much, because the 9-tail will be needed at the end, and now I will continue to train in using techniques. I'm heading to Uzushio, do you want to come with me? Naruto asked the black and white creature. No, and I can't. There's a barrier there that only Uzumaki lets in, but I think you'll pass. At least a little, but their genes should have remained in you, not all the genes of the mother took, said Zetsu. Then Naruto and Zetsu said goodbye and went about their business. Well, Uzushio, wait for me, Naruto said to himself, walking along the road to the land of whirlpools. After 2 weeks of travel, Naruto was now walking on the water that surrounded Uzushio Island. Coming out on the shore of the island, he walked on, feeling at the same time how he passed through the barrier. Naruto went to the center of the village, and when he got there, he saw the following: abandoned houses in the center of the village, and buildings closer to and were completely destroyed. The boy created several hundred clones, who began to study the ruins of a once great village, but several of his clones disappeared, trapped near some temple, and when Naruto approached him, he saw a large gate with a whirlpool sign in the middle. He bypassed all the traps on the steps and went to the door. He tried drop a little of your blood on the center of the whirlpool, hoping for her reaction with Uzumaki's blood, which, however, happened. Naruto entered the temple. There were many different scrolls in it, and in the center, on a stand, was a sword, the same sword that Naruto came for. He took it in his hands. It was so light that it was not even felt. Naruto waved it a little in the air, then sealed it. Scrolls began to study his clones, and so, after 5 hours of studying the scrolls, Naruto decided to leave Uzushio, but suddenly stopped, staring at an even more dusty scroll that was modestly lying on one of the shelves. He took it and began to read. In it described only one technique. The technique of releasing chains. These chains were capable of anything, even Kaguya would be able to bind them. The chains could carry out different orders of the owner, for example, if the owner wanted to, and the chains would suck out the entire chakra from someone, after which they would give it to the owner. There are seals, about 500, with which Uzumaki can awaken this power. But the huge problem is that you need to have a number of chakras comparable to 2 nine-tails. Kaguya, do you think it's worth a try? Naruto asked mentally. Your chakra, as I think, is infinite. So go ahead, but I don't understand why you need them, Kaguya asked a little offended, because you can grab her with these chains. But what if other Otsutsuki attack us? And just such a strong technique is always useful, Naruto tried to answer, to which the goddess only grunted with displeasure and closed the communication channel. Naruto repeated all the seals, then fell to his knees, holding his head. About a dozen chains flew out of it, and now, half an hour later, Naruto was able to curb this force. He had to untangle his soul from the chains that wanted to devour it. Yeah, it didn't say anything about soul absorption, Naruto muttered to himself with displeasure. After that, he thought about what he should do next. There are still 4 years left before the operation to save his Kaguya begins. That's exactly what he thought, after which he heard a threatening ahem in his subconscious. Why am I yours? Kaguya asked with interest, even though she had long ago decided what would happen to him. Well, I didn't know what to answer the blushing boy. And what are you eavesdropping on at all? You've closed the communication channel. He tried to translate the topic. I was wondering what would happen to you and how you would cope with this technique, Kaguya said. Listen, Kaguya, I know I'm already boring you with this, but I'll ask you again, maybe you won't take the chakra from the whole world. Let's find a house somewhere and live there. In peace and happiness. We will not be touched by any wars, and we will not interfere in them. He will live quietly, raise children. After the words about children, Naruto understood what he said, so he blushed deeply. Oh. Naruto, I've been wanting to tell you about this for a long time. Kaguya didn't have time to finish, as Naruto interrupted her. Are you pregnant? The boy asked in shock. But we haven't even seen each other physically, or is a mental connection capable of such a thing, you idiot, shouted Kaguya, hitting her face with her palm. I wanted to say that because of my chakra in you, you can only make a child from clans whose genes you have had since birth. Your Namikaze or Uzumaki, Kaguya said, waiting for Naruto's reaction. But what about you? I love you. Blushing deeper than before, the boy said, Naruto, darling, I must have fallen in love with you too, but I won't mind if you get yourself a few wives. After all, you won't be able to get children from me, but I, oddly enough, want to babysit. And yes, if your wife is from the Uzumaki clan, then the child will be the same as it would be if you didn't have my chakra in you, that is, it will turn out to be a pure-blooded Uzumaki, Kaguya added. I see, thank you, of course. But I only know 2 Uzumaki and this is my mom and sister, he said. You've read about Uzumaki. Have you forgotten about ways to preserve the purity of blood? Kaguya asked, who remembered from the books Naruto had read that Uzumaki often resorted to far from kinship relations between brothers and sisters or parents. Remembering this, Naruto was a little happy. Because he knew that Kushina and Naruto love him and are trying to find him. He decided to himself that he would spend the remaining 6 years traveling around the world, after which he would take Kushina and Naruto to the place where they would live with Kaguya. It only remained to find this very place. 4 years later, Konoha, a 13-year-old girl with golden hair tied in 2 buns, is walking down the street, and next to her is a red-haired woman who looked like she could be 20 to 25 years old. They were heading to the Hokage residence. During these 4 years, Naruto has become quite strong. She could defeat a weak Jonin in open combat. And this at the age of 13. Kushina also did not sit still. She improved chakra control, made great progress in sensorics. The office of the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze. 4th, my daughter and I are leaving the village for an indefinite time, said Kushina, who entered the office without knocking. Hello, Kushina, Naruto, but I can't just let you go. Let me put the marks of the Thunder God on you, so that in case of danger I can come to the rescue. I just don't feel past marks. You don't feel them. 4th, because we got rid of them, and yes, I didn't come to ask for permission, but to tell you not to define us in Nikenani, Kushina said, after which she and her daughter left the Hokage's office, where he was sitting in an even more depressed state than usual. Mom, so where are we going? Naruto asked her mother when they left the Konoha gate. Let's go to the country of hot springs. There are the best sources in the world, and already there we will start coming up with a plan to find Naruto. After these words, they went where they planned. It was about a month's journey from Konoha to the country of hot springs, but it was about 3 weeks by the upper ways. Meanwhile, Naruto decided that he would get a good rest first. Naruto opened the portal that he learned from Kaguya. He appeared in a place called the village of hot springs. He used the henge of a beautiful girl, after which he smiled nastily and went to the sources, to the women's half. Pervert, Kaguya expressed her opinion, incredibly embarrassed by such behavior. And so 3 weeks passed. Naruto spied on the girls, carried out small errands for which he received money, and now, another day full of peeping and Kaguya's indignation. Today it's kind of empty here, there's no one at all, said Naruto. Hearing footsteps, he saw the one he least expected. It was Kushina and Naruto. The girls were about to take off the towels, but then they were stopped by a strange girl who addressed them. Don't undress, shouted a blushing girl who came out of the water completely naked. Why is that? Kushina asked. Looking at her suspiciously, Kaguya told Naruto that he could tell them everything, to which Naruto only mentally shook his head. Naruto took off the henge and began to look directly into the eyes of first Kushina, and then Naruto. And Naruto, opening their mouths in surprise, the girls asked, disbelieving, well, yes, I didn't expect to meet you so soon, Naruto replied. After that, the girls moved towards Naruto so quickly that their towels fell off and they hugged Naruto naked, which caused his nose to bleed and he flew about a meter back. At first, the girls did not understand what was wrong with him, But they could see through tears of joy that they were completely naked, which made them blush deeply and hurried to put on towels. A very long and interesting conversation was waiting for them. Kushina, Naruto and Naruto were standing in a hotel room, looking at each other, when suddenly Naruto decided to speak. So, I'll say right away, I don't blame you for my fate, since you thought I was dead. Brother, what were you doing here and why did you turn into a girl? Naruto asked, still blushing, because her brother was the first to see her naked. Well, I've been doing observations and research. Yes, it is research. Naruto came up with an excuse for his perversions. To which Kushina looked at him very skeptically, but did not say anything, as she was too happy about her son's return. Son, what about your hair and skin? Kushina asked a question, to which Naruto touched both foreheads with his hands so that they would know everything about him, without realizing it. He wanted to trust them. After the memory transfer procedure, both girls were so red that it seemed they could glow in the dark. Naruto, I understand you want to start a family, but only 3 girls are suitable for these purposes. Krisnaya Kushina asked, in the sense of 3, do I know only 2 Uzumaki or is there someone else? Naruto asked, puzzled. Well, you know, my mother was told from childhood that she would not have children, but as you can see, I am here. I see that you love Kaguya very much, that's why I'm telling you about this method. Of course I don't know if it will work on the goddess, but come on, in general. This is a sacrifice for Shinigami, but only the person who rejected you and broke your heart is suitable as a victim, since when killing a former lover, Shinigami gets excited. I don't know why, but it is so. So if there is a girl who broke your heart, you can sacrifice her, Kushina said in a cold voice. Naruto was shocked. She had never seen her mother like this. Mom, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting like this? Naruto asked, taking Kushina to the bathroom. I want Naruto to be happy, and since I am Uzumaki, the more adult relationship between me and Naruto is not prohibited, but on the contrary, it is encouraged. When Naruto frees Kaguya, the 3 of us will live together, Kushina said. What do you mean the 3 of us? Naruto asked, puzzled. And do you really want to become his wife? You're still young, maybe you'll find yourself a husband, Kushina replied to her daughter. You can't find a better brother-in-law, Naruto shouted so loudly that it seemed the hotel had heard. At the same time in Naruto's subconscious. Kaguya, what do you think about this ritual? Naruto asked. I knew about him. This ritual was often practiced in my time, but then it was abandoned, so there are several pitfalls. After the sacrifice, you are given this gift, with which you will be able to fertilize anyone, but only one time, and it works on the first one with whom you make love, and also the victim must be virgin, until the ritual itself. That is, you will have to take the virginity first, and then the victim's life. Somehow, she told me everything about the Kaguya ritual. I know who I'm going to sacrifice, that goat Haruno, who finally broke my faith in people. She's definitely saving herself for that Uchiha freak, but I will do it when I turn 15, and until then I will continue to train. And one more question, why didn't you tell me about the ritual earlier? Naruto asked the question. Well, Kaguya hesitated, which unsettled Naruto, since he had never seen her like this. I didn't really want your first time to be with someone else. Yes, and the child will be ordinary, and not from Otsutsuki. It's okay that the child is ordinary. As for the other, don't be afraid. I will wait for your return to the world, and then I will perform the ritual. Zetsu will keep an eye on Haruno's chastity, Naruto said, hugging the girl. When Naruto came out of his subconscious, he saw 2 girls looking at him. He told them his plan, to which they looked very displeased into the boy's eyes, hoping to incinerate Kaguya, who was watching everything that was happening and laughing into the sleeve of her kimono. A year has passed. Naruto fell in love with Naruto completely. She often spied on him when he accidentally forgot to close the door in the shower. In the next hotel, Kushina also fell in love with Naruto. At the age of 12, he looked like all 16, a toned body, beautiful and even facial features and hair that was up to his shoulders. Naruto also met the 9-tailed one, but he was somehow not particularly happy with the one who wants to seal his brothers, so their dialogue was short-lived, and with a huge number of mats towards Naruto. So the 3 of them traveled until they came across the most beautiful place, a forest, a clearing and a waterfall nearby. There are no signs nearby the arrival of people here. Everyone, even Kaguya, who has seen many beauties of nature, liked this place that it was here that they decided to stay to live. Naruto, using the elements of wood and steel, as well as stone, erected a beautiful 2-story house with 3 rooms. After building a house and living together, Kushina and Naruto constantly tried to take Naruto away from Kaguya for the first time, who began to think more and more that Naruto would not endure until his 18th birthday. They began to grow vegetables and fruits, and Kushina became very fond of gambling, often playing with children to undress and, suspiciously often, completely losing. So they spent another 3 years. 3 years later, Zetsu came out of the ground to Naruto and, putting a cloak with red clouds in front of 15-year-old Naruto, a ring with the inscription, a bone, he said, "It's time to execute the plan." Dressed in an Akatsuki uniform and his mask, Naruto entered his house. Naruto told Kushina and Naruto that he had gone to do his assignment, to which, although they were upset, they cheered up a little when he said that he would visit them from time to time, that they'll be sitting here all the time, waiting for Naruto. They agreed to this, after which they kissed him on both cheeks. After that, Naruto left the house and approached Zetsu. "Zetsu, we are going to the shelter of the organization. I will pretend to be a fool named Koha, who only knows how to swing a sword. By the way, did you warn them about me?" "Yes, I warned the leader of Pain and Obito, who, like you, pretends to be a fool. Call him Toby in front of everyone," Zetsu replied. After that, Zetsu told Naruto where they needed to go, and Naruto opened a portal to the village of Rain, where one of Pain's bodies was waiting for them. "Zetsu, is this the person who won't interfere with us?" Pain asked. "Yes, the leader is herself. Of course, he is not a nuke nin, but he is strong and wants peace as much as we do," Zetsu replied. "My name is Koha, nice to meet you, Pain," said Naruto, extending his hand to the leader. To this, Pain only looked contemptuously at Naruto, which the guy did not particularly like, but he pretended that he did not notice this look. After that, Pain went to the village, followed by Zetsu and Naruto. In Akatsuki's lair, entering the kitchen and the shelter, Naruto saw 5 people, but he paid attention only to the man in the orange mask. Pain introduced everyone to each other, then went to his office. "So, what can you do?" Kisame, one of the mist swordsmen, asked. "Well, I'm not bad at swinging a sword, and I'm also great at painting nails," Naruto shouted, simultaneously moving his painted fingers near his face. "Yes, fuck you in the mouth, Jashin-sama. Why would I do that?" The second idiot in the organization, Haiden, shouted at the ceiling. After that, they talked for about an hour. Mostly Naruto talked to Kisame about swords. "And you're not as stupid as you want to seem." Taking Naruto aside, Kisame said, "Oh, you flatter me, Kisame-sama, although it is not visible under the mask, but I blushed very much," Naruto said, clasping his hands in a lock on the small of his back and moving his foot to the left, then to the right, while looking at the floor. "Although I know a lot about weapons, I am completely useless in other matters," Naruto said, trying to deflect any suspicions from himself. After this little performance, Pain called Naruto and Kisame to his office. "Koha, Kisame, you are now working together. Your task will be to capture the Jinchuriki of the 4-tailed demon, but it will be later, because I need to make sure of the power and benefits of Kohu." Kisame can go, but you, Koha, stay. After which Kisame left Pain's office. "And so, you will go with Deidara and Sasori for the one-tailed, more precisely, you will make sure that no one attacks them on the way back. Is the mission clear?" Pain asked. At this, Naruto bowed theatrically and went to prepare for the mission. An hour later, Naruto moved out after Deidara and Sasori. They knew about him and just didn't pay attention, although he was always fooling around and trying to attract attention to himself, which he couldn't do. After a bunch of failed attempts, Naruto decided to walk behind a pair of Akatsuki. 3 days passed. Deidara and Sasori went after the one-tailed one, telling Naruto not to get in the way. They successfully captured the Jinchuriki, after which they returned to the lair. And so, at the end of the ceiling, they heard the stone in their shelter slowly breaking. "You go to the base, and I'll handle the guests myself," Naruto said in a sepulchral voice to his comrades, who retreated into the shadows and hid the chakra. As they were wondering what the newcomer was capable of, Naruto noticed this but didn't attach any importance, and here he is sitting on the corpse of Jinchuriki. As several people line up in front of him, Sasuke Uchiha, the coup was not planned, as well as the cutting out of the Uchiha clan, as a result of which he is not such a scumbag as in the canon. Sakura Haruno, a boy with a blue scarf, who as soon as he saw Gaara started yelling at Naruto, the three Inoshikacho, as well as Asuma Sarutobi and Kakashi Hatake. All the newcomers began to drill Naruto with a hateful look. "Who are you and what are you doing near the body of our Kazekage?" the old lady asked. "Who am I?" Call me Coke. That I am here only to help my comrades achieve peace, and for this we need Biju," Naruto said. "So it was you who kidnapped Kushina and Naruko Uzumaki," Kakashi suggested. "No, that I don't even know who it is. So, shall we start our dance?" Naruto said impatiently. After that, Naruto took out his katana, which he made himself. The others began to surround him. "Kato, Phoenix Flowers," uttered Uchiha, and then the boy in the scarf added, "Futon, Rush." After that, about 5 medium-sized fireballs flew at Naruto. He was about to dodge to the right when he noticed that he was surrounded from all sides. Naruto ran at Kakashi with a sword in his hand, when suddenly a log breaks through instead of Hatake with a katana. At this rate, 10 minutes have passed. Naruto was amused by the eagerness with which they were trying to kill him. He easily evaded any techniques. Soon, the shinobi from the leaf and the grandmother from the sand almost ran out of chakra. But exactly at this moment the sand Anbu arrived, who were called by Sakura, who ran away for help even before when Naruto took out his katana. Anbu was about 40, "Then we ourselves, and you take the Kazekage-sama." Apparently the captain of the Anbu said to the Konokovites, who immediately did so. Naruto himself picked up and threw them the dead Gaara, whom he saved from capture by the One-Tailed, during the exam for Chunin. Sasuke, Jirai, and Minato. After that, the Konokovites came out of the cave and began to do something there with the corpse of Kazekage. At the same time, the massacre began. Naruto performed complex acrobatic tricks, killing Anbu with their own weapons. He easily broke their body parts with kicks and hands. The battle lasted about 5 minutes, after which 26 Anbu were dead, and the rest in a terrible state. "Is that all?" Naruto said with annoyance in his voice. "Well, did you like the sight?" He turned to his comrades from Akatsuki, to which Deidara felt like he had a cold sweat on his body, and Sasori just said, "We are happy with the result. Fly out of here on Deidara's dragon, and I'll go see what they're doing there. Maybe I'll find someone else interesting," Naruto said, then left the cave. Naruto came out of the cave and immediately saw how the dead Jinchuriki was standing over the old woman's body before, and Uchiha was trying to support him. Naruto coughed a little, drawing attention to himself. "Like you," Kakashi said with a tremor in his voice, which did not hide from the others. "They were too weak, although you are even weaker. Maybe later, if you can become stronger, we will meet again and then the fight will be more interesting," Naruto said, slowly passing by the sheet of shinobi who were dumbfounded with horror. Naruto disappeared from view and ended up right in Pain's office. "Yes, Hayden, I'll let you build an altar to Jashin if you catch a two-tailed demon," Pain said. "That's CAE, but the Flash did not let him finish, which scared even Pain a little, who clearly did not expect lightning to appear in his office. Naruto stood behind Hayden and said in a sepulchral voice, not forgetting to release his creepy key, "Hayden, I'm disappointed in you. You don't bring me enough sacrifices, for which I take away your immortality," Naruto said, barely holding back his laughter. "Jashin-sama, please, I will make sacrifices every day, just forgive me," almost crying, Hayden shouted, then turned around and saw Kohu. "Oh, you motherfucker, come here," Hayden shouted, and Naruto just laughed. Pain looked at it all with indignation, because no one had ever dared to break into his office like that, much less arrange a circus. But turning his gaze to Konan, he saw how she was watching this scene, laughing softly into her fists. "That's enough," Pain shouted, getting up from the table. At the same time, Hayden stopped swearing, and Naruto stopped laughing. "Koha, I know about the task you have completed. You've proven your worth to the organization, so in a week you and Kisame are going after the four-tailed one. All are free, Pain said. Konan, I see that you liked coke, Pain said to his right hand in a calm voice. Nothing like that, Kunoichi shouted, blushing. I haven't heard you laugh since Yahiko died. You can't fool me. After catching the four-tailed one, I will give you a joint mission for a week or two so that you get to know each other better, Pain said with a grin. Thank you, Red Konan said softly. Konan, unlike Pain, who was not going to tell her about it, did not even suspect that Naruto and Haiden were eavesdropping on them. Well, fuck, baby, you're lucky. Haiden envied Tom. Well, I already have 3 girls, I'll have to ask them, although, Naruto, I'm just for it, and Kushina and Naruko, too, I think they won't mind, because this is another one person in our gathering family, Kaguya said in Naruto's head, to which he just chuckled rather. Okay, I'm going to go to Kisame, warn him about the mission, said Naruto, heading to his partner's room. After the warning, he had been training all week and now Kisame came up to him. Koha, let's go on a mission, the time has come, Kisame said, after which they left the shelter and headed to the intended habitat of their target. On the outskirts of the village of Hidden Stone, Naruto and Kisame approached a wooden house standing alone, on the threshold of which a four-tailed Rushi Jinchuriki was sitting on a rocking chair. Hello, four-tailed Jinchuriki. I'm Kisame and this is Koha, could you follow us without resistance? Kisame politely asked, as he wanted to get it over with as soon as possible. And I'm Rushi and no, I'm not going anywhere with you, so you'd better go your own way, Akatsuki, with a calm face, Rushi said. After that, Kisame exhaled deeply and took out his sword from behind his back, unwinding it. Stay here, I'll handle it myself, Kisame told his partner. The battle began with the fact that Rushi started throwing lava balls in Kisame, from which Nuknin barely dodged. Kisame and Rushi had been fighting for half an hour, periodically striking each other minor blows, but everything changed when Rushi freed 2 tails, after which he struck a strong blow at Kisame, from which he passed out. Well, since Kisame passed out, then I cannot hold back, Naruto said to himself, after which he began to slowly approach Rushi, warming up along the way. After that, he thought about the lava spear, after which it broke out of his hand and flew into Rushi, who had managed to release the 3rd tail by that moment. Rushi dodged the spear flying at his torso, but the spear still managed to pierce one of the tails, but Rushi did not pay attention to it. He simply separated the pierced tail from the chakra and grew a new one. And now he is already running at Naruto, who is standing and watching him. A left paw right left kick and a 3-tail kick. Naruto dodged punches, sometimes counterattacking, but he understood that underestimating Jinchuriki in this form is more expensive for himself. So they would have continued this fight, but Naruto thought to himself, what if I enclose him in a block of ice? That he will be able to free himself quickly with the help of the lava element, but this time should be enough for me to have time to put a seal on the suppression of the tailed chakra. After these thoughts, he began to embody it, and so, Jinchuriki was all ready. Lying tied up next to Kisame, Naruto was about to leave, taking Kisame and Rushi with him, when he was distracted by a voice behind him. Stop, you will answer all our questions, and then you will go to jail if your information is useful to us, said the old dwarf who stood in front of the others. There were about 200 ANBU stones behind him. Old dwarf, fuck off in a good way, otherwise I'll kill you all, said Naruto in a completely calm voice, while giving everyone present his cold gaze, which said, so, just come closer and you will die, brat. Well, now I'll show you how to talk to your elders, and even more so to Tsuchikage. After that, the old man took off and crossed his arms, waiting for the stunned reaction of his opponent, but after Naruto also took off, the 3rd Tsuchikage was shocked to say the least. Are you surprised, old man? Naruto asked with a sneer in his voice. The old man folded the seals and said, the element of dust, atomic splitting, after which a cube appeared around Naruto, which began to narrow rapidly. It would be impossible for an ordinary shinobi to get out of such a technique, but Naruto is far from ordinary. He just teleported and appeared behind the old man, and you could have just let us go, but you decided that you could handle me without even using the help of your ANBU, Naruto whispered in the old man's ear, after which he pierced him with a bone that appeared from his wrist. The old man began to fall down, but one of the ANBU managed to catch him in the air, after which he carried him, most likely to the hospital, and the others stared at Naruto. Let's do this. I calmly leave with these two. Naruto pointed to Kisame and Rushi, and you, in turn, go to your village, to your families. Why would you die just like that? But Naruto didn't have time to say anything more, as thousands of stone bullets and a couple of large stones flew at him. Do you like stones? Then how do you like it? Naruto said, teleporting away from the place of the ANBU attack, after which he imagined huge stone spears bursting out of the ground. He put his hands on the ground and piles of stone mines appeared under the ANBU, which pierced about 3 dozen people. ANBU began to surround the guy, but he was just wondering what they were up to. They couldn't think of anything better than to bury it in the ground, and so, when they had already lowered the ground by 200 meters and slammed their trap, Naruto appeared behind 3 ANBU. He threw 2 katanas of bones at 2, twisted one's neck, and 2 more he stuck bone pins in the neck. After that, he began to fight in taijutsu, because he liked it very much. The ANBU are divided into those who fight both near and far battles. But this, of course, did not help them. After 15 minutes, all the ANBU were lying dead. And Naruto was just stretching up with his hands out of boredom, and so, he was about to go to Kisame, when he was called out again. Hey, Koha, like, a guy in red armor and taller than 2 meters asked. Well, yes, I'm a little busy here if you haven't noticed, said Naruto, pointing with a nod of his head at his colleague and prisoner. I see the protector of the stone on you, so you want to avenge your comrades and the old dwarf? Naruto suggested. No, they are not my comrades. I just want to ask you why you're collecting the tailed ones, said the guy in red armor. Well, if that's the case, the guy in red armor who didn't even bother to introduce himself, then I'll tell you why we're doing this. You're going to die soon anyway. After that, Naruto told about the plan, the Eye of the Moon, the fulfillment of which will mark both the end of a well-known life and the beginning of a new, perfect life in which no one will be unhappy. My name is Khan. I, like Rushi, am hated in the village and treated as an insensitive weapon. I will voluntarily sacrifice myself for the sake of world peace and those who did not treat me as a monster, although there were few of them, but for their sake I am ready for anything, said Han, calmly approaching Naruto. Naruto was pleasantly surprised, because they would not have to search and fight with him, which means rest and tranquility, though not for long. Naruto took Kisame, and Han picked up Rushi, after which Naruto teleported all 4 of them to the cave where the 4-tailed one was supposed to be brought. They began to wait until Kisame wakes up. Fortunately, it happened literally an hour after arriving at the lair, and he was extremely surprised to see 2 more people besides his colleague, the guy in the red armor and the Rushi he fought with recently. Koha, what's going on here? Kisame asked his teammate, not even knowing what to think about this situation. Naruto began to explain first about Khan, and then about Rushi, who agreed with Khan's arguments. Kisame was very surprised. After that, they contacted the rest of the Akatsuki. Kisame told them about everything Naruto had done. Akatsuki immediately began to praise Naruto, who listened to congratulations on the capture of 2 Jinchuriki at once in half an ear. He looked at Pain, who glared at him, as well as Konan, who looked anywhere but at him, and if their gazes met, she blushed a lot, and so the sealing began. All 2 seals passed in a week, after which everyone was very tired, and Pain invited Naruto and Kisame to his place, after which they went without rest to the place that the leader called. They were heading to a small village, 2 days away from their current location. 2 days later in the village, Naruto and Kisame entered the tavern, where they saw Pain and Konan sitting in the corner and waiting for them. The newcomers immediately went to them, but Naruto first approached the barmaid, who looked at him with a very interested look and licked her lips a little. She started asking Naruto about who he was, what he was doing here, and so on. Naruto replied that his name was Kohu, but he came to meet someone. He talked to the barmaid for about 5 minutes. All their dialogue was overheard by Konan, who improved her hearing with the help of the chakra. Seeing this, Kisame looked at Pain in surprise, who only said that now Kisame's partner will be Pain himself, and Konan will be Naruto's partner. Kisame grinned at this, but in his heart he was happy for his friend. And now Konan hears such words from a representative of the fair sex. Koha, I am very interested in you, it's all your mystique, the mask that I haven't told anyone this before, but maybe we'll spend the night together, the barmaid said directly, red as a fox chakra. I'm sorry, baby, but I already have a couple of girls, and you're not my type, Naruto said directly, so as not to give the girl false hopes. After hearing this, Konan almost burst into tears there, but continued to listen, because she wanted to find out who these lucky girls were. And who do you like? Let me become what I like, the girl said, not letting go of her hopes. They actually have different characters. But I'll say this, I just like them, I don't know how to explain it. It's just that the four of them are attracted, so there are four of them, wow. Or maybe I'll at least get to know one of them. I still wonder who is there under the mask, asked the barmaid, who had already accepted the refusal, but still decided to find out at least something. Well, one of them, by the way, is here, but she didn't see my face, Naruto said, then turned to the three people who were waiting for him. Konan, can you come here for a second? Naruto called a blue-haired girl to the bar, who heard their dialogue from beginning to end. After Naruto said that one of his girls was here, Konan had already come up with a plan to imperceptibly replace herself with her, because she was pleased only that she would be next to him, but when he called her name and called her to the counter, she stood in a stupor, and after thinking everything over, she went to the bar, and Naruto came out to meet her, saying in her ear, I know everything and I like you too. Then I went to Pain and Kisame to find out, finally, why they were called, and Konan started talking to the girl behind the counter, and their conversation consisted exclusively of love and women's topics. When Naruto sat down next to Kisame, Pain told him what was going on. Of course Naruto managed to get attached to Kisame, but he understood why Pain was doing it. So, we captured almost all the Biju, only 9-tailed and 8-tailed remained. Pain wanted to continue, as Naruto interrupted him. Pain, I have information about those who contain the fox chakra, but for this I will need to get into Konoha, Naruto said. As I see it, Koha, you have a plan, so tell me, so what's your plan, Koha? Pain asked Naruto. I will get into Konoha for a scroll with secret techniques, there I will study Edo Tensei, with which I will resurrect Kinkaku and Ginkaku. From them we will extract the fox chakra. Naruto proposed his plan, surprisingly good plan, and there is no need to look for the current Jinchuriki. And when did you become so smart, Koha? Pain asked suspiciously. Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I don't even know, I've always been very smart. I tried to play Naruto the fool again. Okay, take Konan and go for the scroll, and Kisame and I for the 8-tailed one, said Pain, after which he and Kisame left, and Naruto went to the bar. Yo, Konan, it's time for us to go on a mission, addressed Naruto to Konan. Yes, of course, answered Konan, after which she said goodbye to the barmaid and she and Naruto went to Konoha. Naruto, on the way to the village, told Konan about his plan, to which she very quickly agreed. Konoha was 3 days away. At the beginning of the journey Naruto told her his real name, as well as the true plan. Naruto-kun, so you're teleporting me to your girl's home, and yourself to Konoha? Konan asked. Yes, Naruto answered shortly. Then why are we going to the list for an hour and a half? The girl asked a question. I wanted to take a walk. Well, okay, I'll go there alone, while you get to know Kushina and Naruko. And as it will be necessary to seal the chakra of the 9-tailed, you will help. Well, let's say to Pain, they say you are being treated. Yes, the place where I teleport you is impossible to detect, Naruto replied again, after which he fulfilled what was said. In 5 minutes, Konoha Gate. A guy about 25 years old, wearing a straw hat and a raincoat, approaches Konoha. He told the guards at the gate that he was a traveler and was allowed to pass freely. Naruto walked through Konoha, looking at the happy residents, joyful children and shinobi that moved on the roofs of houses. He calmly walked to the hotel and booked a room for a day. Since it was day, and Naruto decided to copy the technique at night, he went for a walk around Konoha. Naruto left the hotel and decided to walk to the park, and then sit there until night. On the way to the park, he saw an extremely strange picture. a black-haired guy with a hairstyle like a duck's ass kissing a guy with a dog on his head, and a pink-haired future victim of Shinigami is watching all this with shouts, Sasuke, Konan, please don't joke like that, I know that you're not gay, and you're not doing the mission for tomatoes, get off of Kiba and me already, we love each other, and it's true about tomatoes too. And I love them more than anything in the world. Even now I have one tomato, but as you can see, I don't have any bags, as well as pockets. Sasuke answered her, yes, don't touch us, we'll touch ourselves, said Kiba, squeezing Sasuke's ass. After that, they continued to kiss, and Sakura began to cry and ran to her home, further hoping for Sasuke's love. And Naruto noticed how an ash-haired guy in a half-face mask and a girl with brown hair and purple drawings on her cheeks were walking, holding hands and having a nice conversation. Rin and Kakashi are shorter. Since he got there pretty quickly, he decided to take a walk in the park first. Here Naruto is walking calmly along the path, not touching anyone, when suddenly he stumbles upon the following: 2 drunken chunins are trying to rob a boy of 10 years old. No, they would have robbed a girl or a guy, or anyone else, but when he saw this kid, he remembered himself, who was also beaten, robbed and annoyed in every possible way. He approached these chunins and started a dialogue. My dears, what are you doing here, old man? Fuck you, huh? You probably don't have anything valuable anyway, so get out of here before you die prematurely. As soon as the first chunin said this, Naruto in the image of an old man jumped up, and landing stood on the split so that his heels hit the head of both chunins at once. Since they were drunk, they could not dodge this attack, although even if they were sober, they would not have repulsed, because no one expects this from an old man. And now both drunks are passed out, and Naruto approached the boy. Kid, are you okay? Why yes, thank you very much. And how could you do that? Oh, you mean this reception? Well, I've been training in taijutsu for quite a long time, so in my old age I can still do such tricks, although my back will hurt for 4 days. Wow. You're a tough old man. I will also start training to become as cool. I just recently met a thick-browed guy, he seems to be strong in taijutsu, and his costume is very nice. Okay. Go ahead, enjoy your youth. After that, the boy left full of determination and, as one extremely thick-browed jonin would say, the strength of youth. Nothing interesting happened after that. So he waited for the night. Here he left the hotel through the window, still being on the old man's henge. On the way to Naruto's residence, he met absolutely no one, not even patrols. Apparently Minato has become too confident in the absence of enemies, which is for the best, because Naruto will not have to hide in corners, and the protection of the scroll is most likely weakened. And so Naruto reached the residence. He walked along the wall and entered the open window, but saw what he did not expect at all. Minato was sleeping on a mountain of papers, and in his hands he had the same scroll. So I met the first serious problem. Naruto thought for 10 minutes, because if he made a mistake, he would wake up the Hokage, and then Anbu would also come, and he would shred them with another hemorrhoid. And the plan was quite simple, to quietly pick up the scroll, displacing it with another one from above. No matter how funny and comical it was that Minato would have woken up and a kind of family meeting took place, but this did not happen. Everything went very well. Naruto rewrote the Edo Tensei technique, but there was one more problem that Naruto somehow didn't think about, and where, exactly, would he get the DNA of the Kaku brothers? But Riley, how did Kabuto have the DNA of Ginkaku and Kinkaku? And so Naruto went to the hotel, where he slept until morning, and left Konoha in the morning. Naruto decided to talk to Kaguya about his problem. Kaguya, dear, I'm sorry that I didn't come to you for so long, it's just that you yourself know that I have almost everything ready for your release. The goddess chuckled and turned away, showing that she was offended. Well, what is it? Come on, when you're free, you'll get me on the head for all my jams, but for now, please tell me how I can get the DNA of 2 people if their last known location is the stomach of a kubi. Here's your kubi and ask, said Kaguya. after which she threw Naruto out of her subconscious. After the conversation, he realized two things: he needs to see Naruto, and also, it is quite possible that Kaguya was offended not only because he did not come to her for a long time, but also because of Konan, because he did not discuss with Kaguya that he would have another girlfriend. But this can be dealt with later, and now to Naruto. After 5 seconds, the house is unknown where, there are 3 girls sitting in the kitchen, all beauties, and they are sitting for a reason. Kushina braids Naruto's pigtails, and Konan paints the yellow-haired girl's nails. During all this, they discussed what Naruto is: cool, strong, handsome, kind and generally the best man. And suddenly, for everyone, a lightning bolt appeared right in the kitchen, from which the discussed one appeared. And if Konan reacted even more or less normally, since she had seen him recently, then Kushina and Naruto attacked him, knocking the guy to the floor. "Hi, listen, I'm here, unfortunately, not for long. I need to talk to the fox to find out from him about Ginkaku and Kinkaku. Does this mean that soon you will be able to be with us permanently, and Kaguya will live with us?" Kushina asked her question. "Yes, it is. Pain is hunting 8-tailed right now. And that part of the fox chakra that is inside the 2 brothers should be enough for the resurrection of the 10-tailed, which will be sealed in itself by one black-haired boy with a mushroom hat hairstyle, and already Kaguya will appear from it." Explained what remained to be done by Naruto. "All right, brother. Only he doesn't really like to talk. When I tried to talk to him with him, he just threw me out of my subconscious and shouted something like, I am Kubi, evil and hatred itself, die, die, tear off the seal and I will be free. Or something like that. He just sometimes swaps words," Naruto said, after which Naruto entered his sister's subconscious, Naruto's subconscious, Naruto's POV. "Here I am. My god, everything here is yellow, pink or orange. And my photos are everywhere." When I saw it all, I fell into a normal drop of this size. I go directly and see a huge pink flower cage. I come up and see a huge fox with 9 tails. I come closer and start a dialogue. "Yo, fox, listen, can you tell me where I could get the DNA of Ginkaku and Kinkaku?" "Arrrrrr. Pathetic little man. So you decided not to seal me in yourself in order to use all my power, and you want to take only crumbs of my power? Ha ha ha. Stupid man. Break the seal and I will give you so much power that it will tear you apart. Bugagaga, fox, or whatever Hagoromo called you, I don't need your power, but a part of your chakra to resurrect Kaguya Otsutsuki, the most beautiful and kind girl in the whole universe. And my sister doesn't need your strength, although it looks like you've already gone crazy sitting in a place like this. I wouldn't stand it either. It's better some kind of sewer than this attraction through a lot of bright colors. Because of this stupid Hagoromo and his blind faith in the kindness of people, we, the tailed ones, are constantly exploited, tortured and used as weapons. So let your Kaguya be released, but I have one condition." "And what is it?" "Tell your sister that she would change my cage to a clearing with a bunch of trees that block the view from the cage so that I don't see all this colorful horror, and your photos have already started to infuriate me for a long time. Well, at least I persuaded her to stick another seal on top of the old one, otherwise another similar dream with I couldn't stand your active participation. Okay, now tell me where I can get their DNA." These 2 idiots, while gnawing at me from the inside, managed to break their teeth. As far as I know, these teeth are in their hiding place. The cache itself has been discovered for a long time. It is located on a small island near the main port of the country of water, and it is unlikely that someone decided to take away the teeth that no one needs. I've kept my end of the bargain, and now you keep yours. Naruto's end POV. After this conversation with the fox, Naruto talked to everyone for 2 more hours, and Naruto made such a forest as the fox wanted. There's still a little bit left and Kaguya will be free. The country of water, the largest port in the country. Naruto is currently arriving in the largest port city of the country of water, because according to rumors, it is from here that you can get to the brothers' long-looted hiding place, where he will need to find 2 teeth belonging to them. He went first to one tavern, then to another, and so on. No one was going to sail in that direction, but after 2 hours of wandering around the city, some bearded man called out to him, "Hey, man. My subordinates reported to me that you want to get into the hiding place of Ginkaku and Kinkaku, is that right?" "Yes, but only no one agrees to take me there, and by any chance you don't have a ship?" "That is, a ship, but you understand that the cache was looted a long time ago, and this voyage will cost you a decent amount, you still need to go there alone. You know yourself, it's not profitable to take one passenger back and forth." "Yes, I will pay 250,000 Ri, I think that's enough. The main thing is that you will need to get me there, and I will come back myself, don't worry." "Well, as you know, I agree to this amount. Shall we go now?" "Yes, come on now, there's nothing to delay, so I've spent too much time in this city." After 8 hours, the island where the Ginkaku and Kinkaku hiding place is located, Naruto said goodbye to the crew of sailors and the captain, and then went in the direction where, according to the captain, there is a cache. He walked south for about 40 minutes, after which he found the entrance to some basement. Naruto entered it and all he saw was darkness. With the help of sensors, he found a couple of torches that were still usable. Naruto lit them and now it was possible to see at least something. Then I started looking around and looking for what I came for. The shelter itself was more like a cave that a man had dug himself. Only a few piles of garbage could be found in the shelter. The people who came here took everything, even the least valuable items. There were bottles, packages from some products and a whole pile of dust everywhere. Naruto created a dozen clones and they all started rummaging through the trash together. After 2 hours of rummaging through all the piles of garbage, handfuls of dust and bottles, namely, in one old bottle, he was finally able to find 2 teeth, once left by the brothers. And now he began to think what to do next. The DNA of the brothers is there, the bodies have been waiting for a long time in the scroll with the technique is also available, it remains only to find a place for their resurrection. The best option was this very shelter in which he was now. There are no people nearby, there is water around, you will absolutely not be disturbed by anyone. "Well, let's start," said Naruto, preparing everything necessary for the resurrection of the brothers. After 20 minutes of preparation, everything was already ready in the cave and Naruto began to fold the seals, after which he said, "Edo Tensei." And immediately after that, the bodies of some shinobi began to transform into the bodies of Kinkaku and Ginkaku. "Ooh, brother, where are we and what happened?" Silver Brother asked his brother. "Bro, I don't understand anything myself." "Brother, didn't we die together with the second one?" The Golden Brother replied to his brother, "If you say the word brother again, I will first take the 9-tailed chakra, and then I will seal you forever in a scroll, which I will then hide in such an ass that no one will ever find, and you will stick in the scroll until the end of time." Naruto began to threaten, the brothers exchanged glances and Kinkaku asked, "So you need the 9-tailed chakra, which is in me and in my BR. A partner?" "Yes, that's right. So give me your hands and I'll take us where we need to go." The brothers could not disobey Naruto's order, so they did everything as he said. After Naruto took their hands, the 3 of them teleported to the shelter. All members of the Akatsuki except Konan were in the shelter. As soon as Naruto came and took the brothers to the dungeon, the sealing of the 8-tailed began. Konan assisted the sealing with a hologram. After 6 days of continuous sealing, "Wow, fuck, Leader Sama, and why while we seal the tailed ones, we don't have hunger there, for example, Haiden, this is a feature of this process," Jashina Pain answered the priest. "By the way, Konan, is everything okay there?" "Yes, Koha helped me a lot, soon I will probably even be able to go to our lair." "Great, and so, we'll rest for a day, after which we'll start sealing the 9-tail." Everyone nodded at this and went to their rooms. Naruto lay down on his bed and went to talk to Kaguya-chan, private. He didn't have time to finish as he was hit on the head by Kaguya with great force, and the blow was so strong that Naruto passed out. Kaguya was afraid that she had inadvertently ruined her lover, and began to cry. After about 4 minutes of sobbing, Naruto began to move away from the blow. As soon as he moved away from the blow, he asked, "For what?" "Well, you were gone for a very long time, and also brought some blue-haired." "Oh, well, I don't really want to discuss it, to be honest. I came to tell you that soon you will be free and the 5 of us will live happily together. And I also want to ask, is it possible to make Naruto, Kushina and Konan not grow old and could not die of old age? I could share my chakra with them, but, no? I'll only do that if I'm your main girlfriend. Of course, because you were the very first to recognize me and was able to leave me on good, according to Naruto and his girls, sighed. Okay, so be it, I'll help them. By the way, while I was waiting for you here, I learned quite an interesting medical technique, namely the restoration of virginity, NNNY. Naruto was perplexed. We must. As soon as I come to the real world, I will immediately restore my virginity to myself and Kushina. Naruto and Konan are virgins and didn't even kiss, believe me, I see such things right away. Okay, I'll take your word for it. After they talked for about 10 hours, and then Naruto came out of his subconscious and went outside to train. In 10 hours, he learned how to create spikes consisting of wood, bone and crystal. Having finished with the training on mixing the elements, he approached Zetsu, who was following his training. "Zetsu, did something happen?" "Yes, Pain is gathering everyone for sealing." "Wow, finally my mom will be free." Immediately after this brief dialogue, they went to seal a piece of the nine-tailed. The sealing took place quickly, in just 2 days, as there was little fox chakra in the brothers, but quite enough. Pain recalled the statue of Geto and asked the rest of the Akatsuki members if they had any thoughts on where to resurrect the 10-tailed one, preferably away from all countries, because absolutely everyone would feel his chakra upon awakening. "Leader Sama, and let's use the hiding place of these brothers," said Naruto, simultaneously pointing at the 2 brothers, and then cancelling the Edo Tensei technique and allowing the brothers to go back to the pure world. "And where is it located?" "In the land of water. Quite far from the places where people live. So we'll have time to do everything right." "Okay, me, Tobi and Koha will go there. The rest of you defend the shelter. Is everything clear?" Everyone nodded at this question, and Naruto winked at Zetsu and touched Tobi and Pain, transferring the Gaku brothers to the island. Soon Kaguya will be able to breathe fresh air again, on a distant island. As soon as all 3 appeared on the island, Pain summoned the statue of Geto, and Obito from Kamui took out Madara's body in order for Pain to resurrect him. Naruto stood and occasionally glancing at how Madara's body is being eaten by a demonic head, which, with the proper amount of chakra and vital energy, is capable of resurrection, then at the lurking Zetsu. And now the head spat out the already living Uchiha Madara. "I see you kept your word, Obito. Great, and now I'm going to devour the 10-tail. Wait, Madara, we have not yet imbued him with enough chakra for his full awakening. Coke, can you help me?" At Pain's request, Naruto just nodded and began to feed a huge amount of both ordinary and natural chakra into the Geto statue. He gave a total of about 2,000 reserves of a strong Hunin, although it doesn't mean anything to him, but he spent an hour and a half on the transfer. And then, at about 4 kilometers, a loud roar was heard. The 10-tailed was resurrected. At that very moment, absolutely every person on Earth felt a terrifying force, and many sensors lost consciousness altogether. Such power cannot exist in this world. It just seemed to them all. Everyone tried to convince themselves and each other of this, because the appearance of something so powerful does not bode well for humanity. All Kaguya in an instant had a sharp desire to meet somewhere and discuss this something. Immediately after waking up, Madara began to put together a long series of seals and soon he was levitating in front of Naruto, Pain and Obito. He himself looked like a member of the Otsutsuki clan, and even in addition to Rinne Sharingan, that as soon as he opened, he began to radiate incredible power. Madara became the Jinchuriki of the 10-tailed. And so, he went down to the three guys to say something. So, everything is going according to my idea. Great. And now let's proceed to the final stage and immerse this world in the eternal Tsukiyomi. May eternal peace come. Madara had already started looking at the moon and wanted to use the power of his eye, as he was punched from behind by Zetsu. What's that? Zetsu. How? What for? It's simple, Madara. You've been following my plan to free my mom all the time, and if you're suddenly wondering how I got to you unnoticed, then it's simple. My mother's chakra is the strongest in this world. And I was literally created out of it. Goodbye, Madara, you were a good pawn. With these words, Zetsu let a huge amount of Kaguya's chakra into the body, and that's what happened. For the sake of all this was started. Kaguya is released. Pain and Obito stood there and didn't understand anything. POV Pain, what's happening? Did Zetsu betray us? Damn it, I don't understand anything at all. Koha took off his mask and I saw a white-haired young man with pale skin. There was a smile on his face and tears were pouring out of his eyes. Has Zetsu been controlling us all this time? Unbelievable. Npov Pain. As soon as Kaguya came down to the ground, she first looked at Naruto. You kept your word, Naruto. Kaguya, how long have I been waiting for this moment? No need for words, dear. Zetsu, you have fulfilled your destiny, I am pleased with you. What would you like as a reward, Mom? I would like to serve you and Dad, if possible. Yes, of course. Naru, come closer. Naruto immediately went and he and Kaguya intertwined in a passionate kiss, in which no one wanted to give in to each other. So they literally ate each other for 10 minutes, after which Naruto interrupted such a wonderful moment, remembering about the audience. Obito, Nagato, I thank you for your help. Nagato, I will take care of Konan, and also as a reward, I will restore your real body so that you can protect the Rain Village from wars. Obito, you've spent almost your whole life in hell, I don't even know what to offer you. Do you have any wishes? Resurrect Rin. Oh, it turned out awkwardly. Here's the thing, in general, Rin is alive and dating your ash-haired friend. What? Don't lie to me, I personally saw their bodies. Obito, it was Madara's manipulation, we don't give up our own, and Zetsu has to be for Naruto, practically a son. He imposed the strongest genjutsu on you to manipulate you. If you want, I'll restore your appearance. Obito fell to his knees in disbelief and began to sob. Naruto came over and patted him on the shoulder. Coke or Naruto, it doesn't matter what your name is. Just whimper, leave me alone. I don't want to participate anywhere else. I want a peaceful life. Whimper dash, I will return to Konoha and fulfill my whimper dream, become a Hokage. Well, as you might have noticed, with my touch I removed the seal of Madara from your body. Now your mind is not clouded. After that, Naruto did everything he promised, restored Nagato, talked to him about everything, left Obito alone, and now he teleported with Kaguya and Zetsu to the house where Naruto, Kushina and Konan were, the main character's house. 3 girls were sitting and drinking tea when they suddenly felt that 3 entities appeared on the territory of the barrier. Naruto sent Zetsu to have fun in the nearest village, saying that he would play with him later. As soon as Zetsu left, 3 girls attacked Naruto. 3 girls shouted, "Hi everyone, I'm back. Kaguya, can you take Kushina to the house and restore something to her? Yet today, what we have been waiting for will happen." Kaguya smiled warmly and took Kushina to the master bedroom for 5 people, and Naruto himself began kissing 2 girls, simultaneously undressing them and undressing himself. As soon as the 3 of them reached the bedroom, Naruto looked at the reader with a grin, winked at him and closed the door behind him. For the next 8 hours, vulgar slaps, groans and squelches were heard from this room. In the morning, Naruto knew for sure, in 9 months, Naruto, Kushina and Konan would give birth to beautiful children for him, but with Kaguya it was more difficult. It's time for the ritual. Naruto said goodbye to his girls, who in the morning were so red from embarrassment that their heads could inadvertently be confused with a ripe tomato. Of course Naruto didn't want to do this, but what you can't do for the sake of your beloved. Naruto teleported to Konoha. Konoha, Sakura POV. I'm terribly tired, because I haven't slept all night. This powerful chakra, for sure it belongs to Sasuke-kun. It's not for nothing that he went with Kiba to train outside the village, and he bought sake with roses obviously for training. Oh, Sasuke-kun, when will you finally notice me? I'm lying on the bed in my favorite pajamas with the symbols of the Uchiha clan. And then I feel something strange, as if my room has been closed off from the outside world. No birdsong, no moans from downstairs neighbors, no loud conversations of parents from the kitchen. Nothing. And now I see some pale-skinned guy with white hair coming up to me. Who are you and what are you doing here? It doesn't matter who I am. Just know that the following actions will be much more disgusting to me than to you. After these words, he put the seal of paralysis on me and began to undress me. Now he has already taken off his pajamas and bra. She takes off my panties. It smells like Sakura. My God, it's okay not to shave, but you can't bring it to such a bush. I tried to tell him something, but the seal wouldn't let me do anything. Does he really want to rape me? Endpov Sakura. He entered her quickly and moved with brutal speed in order to finish sooner. After an hour, he succeeded. He began to recite a prayer, after which he pierced Sakura with a sword. After that, he felt an unusual power inside himself, which was given to him in order to create a new life. He teleported to Kaguya. She understood everything by his appearance alone and went with him to the bedroom, to which the other girls looked at her with envy. Literally 2 days later, Naruto came out of the bedroom, and Kaguya was lying on the bed, somehow trying to catch her breath. Naruto approached the girls. Well, darlings, now we will wait for the birth of our children and we will train them, and then let them go to the free world. Finally, my adventures are over and I can enjoy peace of mind with you, my beloved. I'm finally happy. That's the end of it.